Great, nice. Well, welcome. So nice of you to take the time to come and join us today and tell us a little bit about yourself and your expertise. So just let us know, who are you, what do you do, and what's your expertise?
All right, so my name is Mariana Rodriguez. I was born in Venezuela, moved to Vienna about 17 years ago, and about 10 years ago I got into fitness. Actually, I was not the sporty person at all in school. Sports were not my thing.
Same.
So yes, I feel like everyone's very surprised about my career. And I started just doing it as a side job. I was actually in PR and I did my first studies in international relations.
Yeah.
And I was just working for more international organizations, and I was doing fitness as a side job. And I always dreamt of making it my full-time job, or a lot more sustainable. And I fell in love with Pilates. But I wanted to make it fun, with music, just entertaining, we all know the benefits that Pilates has to your body, but sometimes going to a class felt a little bit tedious, a little bit hard, and I knew how good, exactly, I knew how good it was, and I knew I had to do it, but I wanted it to be fun. So that's actually how Train&Tone came about, which is my own company that I founded with my brother, and our goal was just really to implement Pilates exercises that are great for developing strength, your mobility, flexibility, and making it fun with music. So this is what Train&Tone is about, actually, just mixing Pilates, making it fun, and make it very inclusive. We wanted to make sure that everyone felt welcome and that it was a safe space.
What are your ways to make it more inclusive?
Well, making sure that, first of all, in our marketing, that we are not excluding anybody. We make sure that people feel at home and safe, that when they come into the studio, you feel welcome. We have a policy of zero judgment in the class, and then it's not about competition, but it's about really focusing on yourself and knowing that you can develop strength in those exercises and taking it one day at a time. One of the things that we also do is always offer less intense modifications, actually, in our classes. That gives us the option that even when somebody is super fit but is not feeling entirely well, and of course as women we know that, throughout the month it changes, and that doesn't mean that we're not strong enough or that we're not fit enough. We just need to go a little bit less intense sometimes. And that also gives us the option to be inclusive. You know, that everyone feels like, hey, I can still go to a class. I can still have that feeling coming out that I made it, I did it, and not feeling discouraged.
Beautiful. Great that you were able to create a space like that.
Thank you.
That's really nice. How did you become a Pilates and personal trainer if you're like not coming from a super sporty background?
So I was a dancer when I lived in Venezuela. I was a dancer since I'm like 3 years old.
So you were sporty.
I mean, yes, that's true, but not team sports. It's like, don't give me a ball. Let's put it that way. I'm never gonna throw in a basketball or volleyball. Like, that's not my thing.
Feel you.
But dancing is still a passion of mine. And
nice.
I used to actually dance with my brother. We used to dance in the same company.
Nice.
Yes, so we've been doing things together since we're kids. And my very first fitness certificate was Zumba.
Oh my God, the Zumba craze!
Yes, I loved Zumba. I was going to Zumba 4 times a week. Fun. And that was actually the very, very first time that I decided to get certified. And that's where it all began, so to say.
Fun.
Yeah. Then I became a cycling instructor. I did my Pilates certificate, and then I did my prenatal and postnatal fitness certificate. Yeah.
Nice. What is it about movement that you love?
That you get to connect with your body in a different way. You get to feel how your body becomes stronger every single day. The possibility of knowing that you can get stronger every day, you know, that you can also adapt certain exercises to your own fitness level and just move just move with your, just learn to get to know your body better. You know, this like connection with mind, body is for me super important, and having that connection and feeling and seeing how my body is getting stronger for me was just the best feeling. Actually, I love it. So I definitely breathe and live for what I do, and that connection, Pilates really gives you that connection.
Great. Yeah, you can really feel the passion about it. That's really nice. So besides being a studio owner and a trainer, you're also a mom.
Yes.
Yes. It's another passion, I guess.
Absolutely. Yes.
Nice. How was it and is it for you, like being pregnant, but at the same time, you know, wanting to stay with the movement, wanting to train, wanting to be fit?
So, for example, with my son, my first one, he's 4.5. I honestly had very little knowledge on what to do and what not to do during pregnancy. So I just tried to, of course, read, inform myself. I learned a lot, and I continue my fitness routine, of course, always with from my doctors. Back then, I was a cycling instructor. And I had just started with my Pilates classes, actually. And I continued doing them until I was 33 weeks pregnant. Yes. So very, very close to my son's birth. And I realized what my body was capable of doing, even though I was pregnant, you know. And I noticed that's not something that will stop you from being active and from doing what you love, actually. What I found was, like, after having my son, and you know, there's 3 trimesters during pregnancy, and then you have your 4th trimester. And what I noticed was that there's a lot of information on what to do during the pregnancy. Your doctors are very on top with everything, and somehow once the baby is born, it's kind of like you're on your own.
And it's all about the baby and not really like about your body.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, during the pregnancy, you literally go every 4 weeks to see your doctor.
Yeah.
Once baby's out, you go one time after 6 weeks, and then it's like, everything is fine, just come back in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And you're just like, and I love my doctors. There's nothing against my doctors.
That's just how it is.
It's just how it is, you know? And I felt pretty alone, and I had no information, and I didn't know where to go to learn what to do and what not to do. So I made a lot of mistakes in terms of training. And that's when I decided to get certified as a prenatal and postnatal fitness instructor, because I wanted to help women also how to not make the same mistakes that I made and continue feeling strong and continue working out, but in a safe way, actually.
Could you give us some examples about like the common mistakes that are made, like after
working your core? So it's way easier to not work your, especially your frontal abs, when you're pregnant, because the belly's in the way. Once you're not pregnant, you know, they tell you, okay, after 6 weeks, you can do everything, whatever you want. But the truth is that your organs are not back into place. Your abdominal walls are not really closed. So all of a sudden, that belly's not there. You start doing crunches. You start doing exercises that overextend or shorten your abdominal wall too much. And that's where issues happen as well. Or exercises that your pelvic floor is not ready to handle as well, you know? And one of the most common things that I get a lot of clients talking to me about, and maybe this is too much information, I don't know, but that still 2 years, when their kids are 2 years, 3 years, they sneeze and they piss their pants.
That's what you hear, right? Huge, that's like even I don't know, like
it's like a mom joke,
right? Like it's like, oh yeah, you cannot jump trampoline anymore, you cannot laugh anymore, everything is gonna be, you gotta pee yourself, right?
Exactly, or having pain in your pelvic floor, you know? And making it seem that is normal when it's not. You shouldn't have pain. It shouldn't hurt. And exercises shouldn't be like, oh my God, I have to tense myself, you know? So I was really into learning how to rebuild strength, you know, and how to rebuild the strength of your pelvic floor, of your core, without harming it and just taking it very, very slow. So I tend to be very conservative when it comes to that, actually. And when I'm giving advice to my clients, I'm super conservative with when can you really start working your core. And don't get me wrong, there are many core stabilization exercises that are great right after postpartum. Yeah. You also have your 360 breathing, which is like helping you close the abdominal wall, which those are great. But doing bicycle crunches and sit-ups and those kind of things you want to avoid actually. Yeah.
What, like, you're, and also like maybe already talking about the difference that you already talked about in your first pregnancy and your second pregnancy now, what did you experience? How did you change your routine, and why do pregnant women and all, like, because we already talked about postpartum, but pregnant women, what do you have to be careful about?
I always divide it in those four trimesters, and that's what I have when I have a lot of personal training clients that are pregnant or clients that are pregnant and come to me and ask me. The first trimester, you can really continue with your same workout routine. All right. Now, in the first trimester, we're incredibly tired. Yeah. Some of us are incredibly nauseous, and our bodies are just doing so much work that I always tell my clients, listen to your body, and when you need the rest, just rest. Yeah. And when your body's telling you, no, I can't even think about working out, then don't. Go for a walk, take it slow, keep yourself moving, but don't push yourself. You know, we as women tend to be like, okay, I was doing this and I need to continue, and I'm doing HIIT workouts and I need to continue, and some of us have the energy, some of us don't, you know? So it's very important that you listen to your body. Yeah. And then when your body's telling you to rest, you rest, you know? In terms of technically, you don't have to really change anything in your workout routine because your body is pretty much the same in the sense there is no belly. It's just starting to like the implantation. So you don't really have to change your workout routine, so to say. You can keep it the same. Now, in the second and third trimester, that's when things get a little bit more, I would say, complicated in the sense that you want to avoid working your core. Yeah. All right. Like I was saying with sit-up, crunches, anything where you're shortening your abs or overstretching your abs. Okay. Why? Okay. Because you want to give space to the baby. Yeah. So all moms, we have to give space to the baby. We want to make sure that those muscles are getting softer, you know, and we're not working them to make them stronger. Now, I love working my obliques. And I love working still my core stabilization and my core strength in ways that are very safe. For example, planks. You can do planks as long as your body feels right. Yeah. And in the third trimester, you can do planks on the knees still. That's a very safe exercise that if you also hold your belly, like not holding your breath, but if you close the belly and you engage your core, is perfectly safe. I also recommend 360 breathing, for example. That's very important to learn from the beginning, and what they call now belly hugging. Okay. Which is kind of like you inhale, expand your belly, and as you exhale, you just yes, exactly. You're not holding your breath in, but you're just engaging your core, and that's perfectly safe. Yeah. And then, of course, in the second and third trimester, you have to be careful with your balance a lot. That's luckily I don't suffer from that, but I know that a lot of women tend to feel, of course, belly's growing, it's pulling you forward. Yeah. You know, you want to be careful with your balance, and you want to concentrate on working your arms, shoulders, back, lower back, especially your legs. And you of course, carry more. Yes, absolutely. And you want to make sure your glutes are strong enough to hold that weight. And I mean, back pain is going to happen, neck pain is going to happen because your body's moving. But if you have a strong glutes, legs, back, and arms, then it can hold the weight, you know, and it can help you also. And of course, you can add low impact cardiovascular activity. That's going to help you in labor. Yeah. Yes. That endurance you definitely need. So exercises, of course, you can still jump. I still do some jumps. I still do some jump squats. For me, it feels safe. You can still do those as long as your body's allowing you to do them. But you can also keep it low impact as well and still high intensity. Yeah.
Cool. So, of course, like women's bodies, you already talked about a lot what they do during pregnancy and, of course, also childbirth. Did you find a deeper connection to yourself and your body and maybe even your female energy during it?
Yes, absolutely. I have to say, with both, pregnancy has been very, very different as well. I really learned to accept and embrace all the changes, actually, you know. I think it's a topic that tends to be taboo in the fitness world, and I come from suffering from body dysphoria and anorexia actually before I had my son, and it's a I wouldn't say it's a battle, but it's something that I'm very much aware of it, you know. And with a lot of like mental work and psychological work, of course, I managed to overcome it. And the one beautiful thing during pregnancy is that all of those things kind of go outside of the door, and all of a sudden you feel absolutely beautiful, and you embrace the changes, the weight gain, the strength, and you just in awe of how much your body can change and grow and create something that sometimes is unimaginable.
It is.
Yeah.
Creating life. It's
absolutely
amazing.
Yeah. And for me, it's this second time around because I have my son and I can see him, and it just like imagining that my daughter will at some point be that age. So I'm enjoying and embracing all these changes, and it's a way also to connect and to accept your body even more.
That's amazing. That's so nice. How did you manage, like, now you're going through your second pregnancy, but also like how did you manage already after giving birth, still having a studio, still being a trainer, being, you know, self-sufficient too, you know? Do you have any tips for ongoing mothers?
Oh my God. It feels like such a huge responsibility.
No, but how did you handle it? Let's start there.
I mean, it's been a growing process, you know. To be honest, I never expected Train&Tone to become what it is today. Yeah. That's also not why I started, in the sense like I am not really this super business structure oriented person, more the creative person. And for me, it was just about transporting this feeling to my clients, you know, and I wanted to make them feel strong and good in their own skin, and just teaching them about what I know, what makes me feel better. So I started with that, and then of course it grew. And my family grew. And what I have learned is that for me, it's just I try to stay really true to myself. I try to ask for help when I need it, which has taken me years to work on. Now, finally, we have an amazing administrative team. We have 13 trainers, which I fully trust, and they're incredible at what they do, honestly, and they do it with so much passion. But I had to really push myself to let the control go. So if you would ask my brother,
it was your first baby probably, right? The studio.
Train&Tone, and my son, they were born at the same, pretty much at the same time.
Oh wow!
Yes, my son was born in 2019. Train&Tone was born in 2020. So it was really at the same time, and I am very honest to God, I'm a very control freak person. I love controlling every little detail. And as we grow, I realize I cannot do it all by myself, even if I want to. So I've learned to delegate a lot.
Awesome.
I've pushed myself to delegate a lot, to trust in my amazing team, to trust in my business partner, my brother. And also to, I think this past year with this pregnancy, I've learned to prioritize. I've learned to prioritize that sometimes it's not about growth. But it's about saying, hey, let's make what we have really good. Let's improve the quality of our classes. Let's improve the quality of our studio. And maybe not focusing on having 2, 3, 4 studios, but just focusing on that because
there's
number
some
2
more focus.
Yes, exactly. And I learned to refocus and to say no to some projects that would have been super exciting, would have been great.
Yeah, but they're just not your priority.
But they just, and I wouldn't have been able to give my best to all of it. And I knew that something then had to give you know? So it was either I had to give my time as a mom or my time as a business owner.
Yeah.
And the truth is that right now the focus is on me as a mom.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So prioritize and delegate. That would be my tips.
Awesome.
But please don't take my word for it, because
everything works for different people. But I think it's really good to hear from your experience and how you handled the big changes in your life. Is there anything else you would like to add that we did not touch on yet?
I would say maybe concerning the topic of fitness and pregnancy is, you know, to really, if you're a mom that you want to work out and you have no idea, just educate yourself. Find the right trainer for you. Find the person that has the education to teach you, just to avoid long-term damages. Because those are things that, for me personally, scare me when I see things like when I see workouts and exercises targeted to mom that maybe are not the best. So to really educate yourself and find a trainer that you know has the knowledge and probably also the experience to help you and guide you. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to work out, but really choose the right people to accompany you in that journey. Because your health is your priority, absolutely. And you want to do things rather slow than too fast and avoid long-term damages.
Thank you so much. It was a fascinating talk.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming and taking the time.
I enjoyed it very much. Yes.
Nice.